Hello, everyone. Hi, Nicole.
Hello, hello, everybody.
So,
Great.
how is everybody doing tonight?
Everybody good? I'm good. You good?
Yes, I'm awesome. We got Frugal Farmer. Hello.
Hey.
Er- Eric, Laura, and Snowman, Catherine. We have, let's see who else.
Barbara Ann,
Yeah, I just saw Gail.
Gail, Snowman.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So, guys, I want you to meet Nicole. She's from the channel Through the Veil. Some of you must know her for sure. And remember, her link is pinned at the top in blue. So you just have to click there for it, or a mod can post it during the show. So, okay, Nicole. My first question I always ask everyone is, how did you come up with the name of your channel?
Well, my grandmother, who is full blood Cherokee, whenever she looked at me when I was younger, she told my mama I had a veil. So, I thought about her and, keeping it to her and everything because I love her to pieces. And I thought, through the veil, I'm looking through the veil into another world because, I don't know, a lot of people know I'm gifted, but so through the veil. Or now we shortened it to TTVP because
Mm-hmm.
some people call me Veal.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Hi, West Haven.
Hey, West David.
Okay. And you've had your channel for how long now?
Just a little over a year. It was a year in March.
Okay. What got you started into posting videos and making, well, a channel and all that?
That was my daughter's idea. She has like an antibody syndrome, and she always wanted to get out and do things, keep her active. She's also autistic, and at the time she loved Omar and Patty and CJ and all those. And I used to do the paranormal stuff when I was younger. I just kind of got out of it. I'm getting older, my kids were grown, and she's watching the shows one day and I was like, we could do that. Why not? Let's go places. Let's redo what I used to do whenever I was younger. So I introduced her into it, and she's kind of sensitive. She senses things. So that just kind of got us on this ball of rolling, and we have enjoyed it.
Okay. And did you learn by yourself to edit your videos or
Yeah, the hard way.
the hard way,
Yeah.
the self-taught way?
Yeah. Started with the Windows Movie Maker, the free version.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we went into Movavi and learned how to do the transitions and stuff like that. And after you're at it for a year, it starts getting a little easier. We're still not experts.
Okay, guys, if you have any questions, put them in all caps so we can see them better. Okay. What was the scariest place? Well, for you, I don't know if there that could be.
Yeah, I've had a couple.
Oh, okay. What? Which one were the most scariest for you?
The one most scariest has been here recently, and the person that was talking about it, I joked about it, and y'all see my Bethel videos, and I thought, oh, it's just a normal cemetery. But whatever is out there, even put the fear in me. And that's saying something because, veil don't scare very easy. But whatever is out there just kind of huddles you together. I've heard there's like this big dark shadow figure that comes off the hill, and it just feels bad. It feels heavy out there. I get a lot of negative thoughts. I've had negative visions out there, and I will not go out there alone.
Okay.
No.
Okay. We're going to talk about your gift, if you don't mind.
Sure. I'll try.
Okay. Uh, at um, what age were you when you first realized that you weren't like everybody else?
Well, I started seeing them at 5. Now, when I realized I was, different, when mom and granny started explaining things to me, I was probably about 9. But, I was seeing them at 5, asking questions, but they're like, this is what's going on at 9. So,
Okay. And it started how? With just seeing a person or?
yeah, whenever I was younger, we had an old farm. We were pretty much sharecroppers, back in the day. My dad would move from farm to farm to do people's other farms, plants, stuff like that. And the bedroom that I had, this old man would come in and settle into my bed at nighttime, and he would tell me about his farm. He would tell me how to feed the quail and what they do seasonally for the animals and stuff like that. And, I had to tell mom about it, but she ended up coming in my room, which she just felt a wisp over her face. She didn't actually see him. And it wasn't long that we were moving out of that house.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mark B has a question.
Sure.
Have you been touched by any spirits, and how did that make you feel?
Well, I've had nice touches, like on my shoulder, like it's all right. It's like a soft fuzziness, cold chill, but I could also feel the separate of the fingers. So, it's a hand. I have felt that. I had one there at Bobby Mackey's, Ed, who didn't grab me so nicely. It felt like he actually went through the back of my neck and pulled my spine, which afterwards I went to the floor and got sick. My spine, whatever went on in there, still got problems. But yeah, so I've been nauseated, fuzzy feeling, cold chills. I've had them go through me, which is really interesting because then your emotions and thoughts just mixed together, and that takes a while to shake off.
Okay. Have you ever went to a place you regret going because of incidents like this?
No, I can never say I've never regretted because it's always been an experience and a learning curve. So, yeah, I've never regretted.
Okay. And how do your kids feel about your gift? Are they like embarrassed? Oh, mom, don't say anything.
Oh,
Or
oh no, my son, he's gifted himself. So, we
oh,
get to, talk to each other about it. And like I said, my daughter's a sensitive and she's also our tech who goes with us. So they're all, oh, what are you getting into this week? And so my kids, yeah, they're strange, just like me.
okay. So there's no interference.
Nah.
Okay. And if you go to a place, can you like see what was there before? Or
Sometimes.
okay, because I saw a video. You went to a hospital,
Mm-hmm.
a creepy
It was,
abandoned hospital, and the lady told you to go in this room, and then you started seeing like bodies and stuff. Can
yeah.
you explain it a little more into detail?
Yeah, I think I made the mistake at the beginning of, well, I don't think it was me, maybe it was Jax, my other investigator, better half that's with me, let her know that, I had abilities. And they've been trying to find out about OSPH, which is Old South Pittsburgh Hospital. And I think Laura was with us too. She's got some
Yeah.
gifts. And so they kind of used, us as guinea pigs. But she's like, hey, Nicole, let's go in here. I want you to tell me what this used to be. And as soon as I walked in there, I mean, I get to see bodies on top of each other, like someone had just disregarded them and just threw them in there. I mean, they were wrapped. I mean, nothing hanging out, and I really couldn't explain it before. I was just like, why? I don't know if it was why are they all stacked up or why did you stick me in here? And she's like, what do you see? And I was like, bodies. And she's like, oh, that's the body room. In other words, it was the morgue. They didn't have a proper morgue. They just had like a cold storage where they would place the bodies. And I could see them when I walked in there. Like,
Okay. Well, that was kind of mean though, because I
yeah.
remember that very clearly. Like, I don't know, I found it mean what she did to you.
I found it kind of funny. I mean, I felt like, you just want to wash. That's why I was like, ugh, no, I didn't want to be around all them dead people. Yeah, I don't mind it, but no, don't stick me in there.
Mark B has a question. You talk to spirits. Do you
There's a fly.
get
Sorry.
get
Glimpses.
glimpses of their lives?
Sometimes I do. I really do if they touch me in a way. Um, Sometimes I do get what I call a spirit walk. If I'm really connected to a spirit and they're trying to tell me something, they'll give me flashes and images of their lives so I could try to understand what they want. A lot of times I just hear them openly, like I'm talking to you. Sometimes they have to give me a little extra.
Okay, and you can do that with photos as well. You
Hmm.
can look at a photo and
Yeah.
sort of figure out what's missing or something.
Yeah, or an image will pop up. It's more like a ghostly image to me that nobody else can see, or an aura of an image. I could see those a lot of times in pictures, along with spirits in pictures. So yeah,
Okay. And do you see spirits like in other people's videos and
yeah.
stuff?
Oh yeah. I'd be watching TV and like Paranormal State and some of those other, the bigger shows, and Jax kind of gets tickled at me because there's a few that I won't mention, but they're talking about the spirits, and I'm like, they're standing right there. Just turn around and ask them. So I see them, and in the movies, you'd be surprised in movies.
Okay, I have a curious question for you.
Okay.
When I did my tunnel live stream, did you see anything?
Yeah, I seen a small. I don't know if he was Filipino or he was Oriental in nature. Not really much taller than you. I think a lot of people thought he was a child. He was not a child. He was an Oriental man.
Oh, okay. And I got some words in the necrophonic that I can't figure out the language or something, so that'll be in the video when I return.
Okay, it might be Thai
Okay.
or something if he was Oriental.
Yeah, but there in that sector there are a lot of Oriental people, but from where exactly I don't know. They
Hmm.
like when they came to Canada, they went there.
Oh
I
wow,
don't. Yeah.
that's interesting.
Here, Mark B again. Are you physically
Drained.
drained after speaking with spirits? That was my next question too.
Yeah. A lot of times on these vacations, vacations. Yeah, vacation for me. Investigations. I get so drained. Sometimes I'm down for 2 or 3 days and have to make, pretty much excuses. I just can't do it. I'm just, my head hurts. I just don't have the energy. My legs just feel like they're going to fall out from underneath me. It just wipes me out if, they're really, really heavy. Like if I go to a heavy place that a lot of people want to talk to me.
Okay. Um, what are your future plans for your channel? Do you have any special content coming out or
Well, we
live
we
streams?
we have this new episode. I hope it turns into an episode. The Ridges. I don't. I just put out the first one last night. I actually going to see the property. We never seen it before. We have some interviews coming up with some people that have seen, these shadow creatures and a goat-like man, and it's supposed to be pretty bad down there. I mean, they wouldn't even move back to the property, and I mean, just to let it go because the entities down there. We're going to keep that going. I do have some bigger stuff that I know we're going to be returned to OSPH, Old South Pittsburgh Hospital. Um, I know we're supposed to be going back to Bobby Mackey's for a longer investigation with Hensley, but I think we're also going to try to get into the Ohio State Reformatory and Trans Allegheny and the Bel Air House.
Okay. Okay. So upon that, do you have like a regular schedule for your live streams and your
Mhm.
premieres and stuff like that?
Yeah, on Mondays we have Manic Member Mondays because Mondays are manic, and we do for our members we share out what they have been doing presently, what they're going to be doing, who they are, just who supports the channel other than, just our regular people. Wednesday is where the dead speak. I usually try to gear that toward more the psychic medium stuff. It don't always go there. Depends what's going on. If Monday went bad. Thursday, I gear it toward everybody. So anybody who has content or they want something to share or we have something to talk about. So it's on Monday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays at 8 p.m. Central Time.
Okay. Speaking of member, I'm a member.
Yes, you are.
Of your channel. And I got this. Look familiar?
Yeah.
So I'm going to open it and see what's inside. I waited patiently. It was in the mailbox, but since when, I don't know. We were gone to Niagara, so
I hope they made it intact.
Okay. I have this little bag with it's pink.
Mm-hmm.
And let's see. Oh, wow. Oh, the camera.
Yeah.
Look at that.
It is hand carved protection Indian jewelry. My grandma taught me how to make those. So
Yes.
each little bead has got its little meanings of protection.
Okay. Wow.
And they're
Thank
blessed.
you.
They're blessed. So
Okay,
they keep you.
I'll be wearing this on my next investigation.
Yes.
And these kinds of gifts, you give this to your members.
Mm-hmm. Well, I have a little something, even for, like when we do have our giveaways, even people that's not members of the channel, I'm always giving away a little something. You never know from me.
Okay. And I know you're planning something special for Halloween too.
Yeah, we are going to have game night. We have Jack Bear. Don't know where Jack Bear is. He was here next to me. We have Jack Bear for our members. If I find him, I'll show him to you. And then for our other members, we have another little bear. I think we're going to call him Boo. We're going to put a little TTVP special made onesie on him for everybody else. So everybody gets something. We're just going to, give out these little gifts. We're going to spin wheels and play games.
Okay.
So that's on the first Monday.
It's really fun.
First Thursday, I think.
Here we have another question. How do you feel about other creators who claim to speak to spirits, but who obviously fake this?
Yeah, that's a touchy subject, but it does irritate me, and I can usually, pick them out, especially when they're really vague. And I try to have a live on this, and you guys, it's not so much that you're faking it. If you are faking it, you're hurting the spirits that really, really need you. So if you are doing it, don't do it. I mean, everybody has a gift. Use that gift of what you can do. Everybody needs, we need our sensitives, we need our psychics, we need our clairvoyants, we need everybody. So, try not to be, really vague. Don't say, the little, I feel some little old lady with white hair died in your life. Okay, well, I know, pretty sure some little white haired lady in my life died sooner or later, but I like to hear names. Sometimes I get names whenever a spirit speaks to me. I'm going to give you their name. I'm going to tell you exactly how tall they are, what color their hair it is, how it's shaped, how they know you, where they found you, etc., etc. Don't be vague, because it just hurts the spirits. I hate to see spirits cry. They have made me cry.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Upon that, do you plan on doing some traveling, like out of state at one point, or you're always out of state, or it's so far you've been only in the state?
No, we went down to, like I said, OSPH, which is in Tennessee. We've been to Moundsville, which is in West Virginia. I did live in Missouri, so we went to East Penn. But yeah, we're looking at quite a few others going back to Tennessee. There's a couple I'm looking at in Georgia, Kentucky. So yeah, we travel in and out, always looking for somewhere to go. Anywhere.
Okay. How do you find your locations?
That was my tag. Usually, I Google them, abandoned places or nearby historical cemeteries, because I like the historical stuff too. Usually when you start getting into the history, then you also have a story to tell, and you'd be surprised some of the spirits that you can meet in these historical places. So, I'm always Googling historical places. How close are they? And, do they cost anything or not? So I Google a lot, or I'm in the library book,
Okay. What do you rather go film? A cemetery or a historical location?
That's a hard one. I've been called the cemetery queen because I usually end up there a lot. But I love historical locations. Gettysburg, for one. I would really love to go back to Gettysburg. There's just so many, so much history out there. A lot of history is wrong. Went to Anawan Rock. That was really cool in the Bridgewater Triangle. Got to see a lot of Plymouth, the history there. So yeah, historical places kind of broadens the perspective a little bit, other than just cemeteries.
Okay. And if does it happen that some people can, I don't know, write to you or call you and say, "Can you come investigate my house or something?"
Oh, I would love for them to. I just haven't not had anybody to do it yet.
Okay. That'd be awesome.
Yeah. I take that back. I had the police come to my house one time to help a family, and I actually solved the issue.
Oh, you help the police too sometimes, or?
Yeah, officer. They had a lot of problems, and I knew the officer, and he knew what I done, and he was a firm believer in the paranormal. And he just come to my house one day. He said, I got an odd case, and usually, we don't go this far with the police department, and really, it's not for the police department; it's for me. He said, I want you to go to this family's house. He said, I'll introduce you. The kids weren't sleeping. They were missing school. There was a lot of turmoil and stuff in the house, because nobody was sleeping. They were fighting. They were bickering, getting wee hours. And as soon as, we done our introductions, and she allowed me to come in, take a look around. I didn't have to go too far. There was an old man, and he was sitting in the chair there in the living room, just rocking. And you could tell he was mad. So what it came down to was actually setting the family down, setting the spirit down, and being pretty much the psychologist between the two. We had to give him his own room. She made all sure the bed and furniture was from the 1950s, because he still thought that was his house. He didn't like the kids running around. He didn't like the kids playing loudly. He was just a grouchy old man. So he had to come to terms that children are going to be children. This is, you've passed. I'm sorry. And this is now their home. So you guys are going to have to learn to live together. So everything calmed down. So that was wonderful.
Okay. And have you had news about this ever since that happened? Like, was there other episodes or?
I helped Margaret, we couldn't really help her, but I got her the clown doll, Manny with Gino. I don't know Gino. He won his chair back that was actually in the room that Gino moved it somewhere else. So, I find out I helped the spirits a lot. I went to one cemetery where they wanted lights. So we took our YouTube donations and we bought those little pool stick lights that you can stick in the ground. We bought the kids bracelets and little balls, and I'm always helping the spirits do something. I love it.
Okay. Do you have spirits in your home? Do you live with them? Are they?
Yeah, my friends have spirits here. Of course, I had spirits in my other home before I moved here. But yeah, we have a couple little ones running around here. We have an old man likes to watch westerns. Called George. He protects their little one. Uh, we had one guy, they called him Wrecker Man. Never really got his name. I think maybe it was Ed. No, it wasn't Ed. But I haven't seen him around here recently since you put the records away. But yeah, there's quite a few running around here. The old man across the street who is still angry and bitter at everybody, he's out there. Yeah,
Okay.
I see him everywhere. So
Okay. And I can't just imagine how you feel when you go to, like, I don't know, a funeral home or something.
actually, funeral homes are not that busy. Um,
Okay.
Graveyards are not that busy. The most crowded places I find, and you're gonna laugh, is churches and places like Walmart. You know where people often frequently go. Uh, Walmart's slam packed full. I don't know why they want to go to Walmart. Maybe they forgot something, but I see them everywhere.
Okay. Oh, I thought like you'd see them more like traffic in the funeral home or something, a
No,
church. Yeah.
yeah, and you know, as far as cemeteries, I've run into a lot of spirits who are visiting the graves of other people. It's not really so much I think you're speaking to the ones that are, you know, in the ground there than it is people who are visiting. And, you know, I have, you know, read across a few that stay close to their graves, but I think they go on to a place where they were happier at.
Okay. Oh, here's a question from Mark B again. Keep them coming.
Yeah.
What is the best way to connect with spirits in the house to help them?
Okay. Let's say you do not have a gift whatsoever. I would say the best way is if they're trying to get their attention, they will let you know for sure. It takes a lot of energy, and this is going back to the fake people. It takes a lot for a spirit to even use all their energy that you know they've gathered to do the smallest of things, you know, to move something. So they're going to move something of significance that they know that you have of theirs, or something that means something between you two that y'all will have a connection to. They might move that. So, you know, kind of pay attention to the activity in your home, what's going on. The best way to do it, and I've had my son do this, I've had a couple other people, if anybody's ever tried scrying, it's where you hold a candle in front of a mirror, a tilted mirror. And a lot of times, if you can get your peripheral off of the whole situation, a lot of times you'll see them, you know, try to connect with you, you know, within the images of the mirror as you're staring. Um, a lot of times, if you listen, just get a digital recorder. Anybody can hear a digital recorder. Tell them to speak loudly, clearly, slowly, and record all the time. You might be able to pick up something that they're trying to say to you. So just use basics and pay attention.
Okay. Do you see something behind me, or there's nobody home?
No, nobody home today.
Good, good, good. That's what I want. I like to keep it like that. I was just wanting to make sure. So, so, like what you were talking about, the mirror there, you put a candle and like the mirror tilted over it.
Now, just set your candle. Let's say, okay, your candle. Okay, my hand is the mirror. You're going to set it behind the mirror and give it enough tilt that you're blocking out. You know, the mirror becomes black pretty much.
Okay.
All you're getting in that mirror is the glow of the light, and you can actually, you know, you can see into it. You're going to be looking at it, you know, straight. So you have the mirror that is now black, or black mirror they call it, and you should be able to see. A lot of times, spirits will come to you in the colors of the candle.
Okay. But this has to, you have to do this at a place where there are spirits.
Yeah.
Like we just said, there's none here, so I shouldn't see anything.
Well, I don't see none around you. You said around you. You didn't say in your house.
Well, in the house. Okay, I think I saw Bama with a question. Was it Bama? Let me just scroll up. Uh, where'd it go? Looking for it.
Yeah, I said Walmart.
I saw. Oh, here it is.
Guys.
There. What's the best advice to give for showing spirits respect?
That's an easy one. I always tell people, think that you're walking into your grandma's home. If you was bad to your grandma, then don't do it that way. But you don't want to cuss at them. You want to talk in a calm, cool manner. Be respectful. I mean, respect, as they say, respect is earned. You'll get respect back. Just like being in a doctor's office is another way, and you're trying to introduce yourself to somebody that doesn't know you. You walk up and do what? You don't scream at them. Hi, my name is such and such. How are you? Just respectful. They don't know you. You don't know them. You don't know their attitude. You don't know what they've been through right now. So, I mean, they could have been there for 200 years, not be able to speak to nobody. They could be angry at the world. So, just respect, like we treat your grandma, like you treat a doctor's office.
Yeah, because I saw quite a few videos where they would be like rude and taunt the spirits, and that got me mad. I would stop the video right there and move on to the next one. And then after, they wonder why they got scratched and why this, why that.
Yeah, and I seen a very, well-known show, and they were actually trying to get this spirit to move on. She wasn't welcome in that house. And they was trying to tell her, it's not your house. You're not welcome here. And they're yelling at her. And, they done this through several episodes. And this woman, the spirit, connecting with her, they worked hard to get that farm, and he built that. Her husband built it by hand, and that was her home. They were actually the intruders, and she liked her room exactly where it was. That's where she stayed, up there on the balcony, so she could, overlook the creeks and stuff like that. She loved the view out there. So they're screaming and hollering at her, you're not welcome here. You have to get out, you demon, and all this other stuff. I'm like, she's not even a demon, but I was like, I just cried because, I mean, she was being evicted, really is what it was.
Laura, do you like reading for people?
Reading such as?
Like, I guess seeing people, telling them you have someone there. Or...
Like you got someone in your house? Yeah, sure. A lot of people don't know this, but I can read people. Sometimes, somebody will ask me to what they call read them. And that's why I was asking, what do you mean exactly? I could take, your hands and close my eyes, and I could see a visual past of where you've been. A lot of times I can see injuries and stuff that you may have afflicted through your lifetime, and you may have that scar still on you somewhere. But I could tell recently things that you've been through. And that's why I thought, which reading was you talking about?
Okay. A question here from Jason. Is it possible to use a Ouija board on your own? If so, do you have any tips for a beginner?
It's possible. Will I do it? No. One, I cannot touch them, because a Ouija board, if you open it, it's a doorway, and as sensitive as I am, and all the spirits that come through flood me at once, it's not pretty. You don't want to see that. But I don't think it's safe, no, to use one on your own. I think it's safe to even use one if you don't know what you're doing. No. So I would say as a beginner, really get into someone who's actually used those. Make sure you know how to close what you have opened. If not, you can create a whole bunch of portal havoc within somebody's home, within an area. You never know. So my best advice, if you don't know what you're doing, best leave it alone and tell someone that has mastered that area. And I can't say really mastered because no one's ever mastered anything, has had practice in it. Have them to teach you. Not me. I'm not the one because I don't mess with them.
Okay. Do you find spirits of children are more stronger energy wise than adult spirits or the same?
Um, I say the same. It all depends how much interaction they have had. And I mean by that is how much energy is in the area. Like I said, it takes energy for them, you know, to be able to communicate. Some spirits I see that are more opaque than others. So if you have a child spirit, an older spirit that's in some abandoned cemetery that's been there for 300 years, they have not seen a piece of equipment to draw energy from. There's no power lines to draw energy from. They're going to be a lot less to speak to you and to manifest and be around you than, say, an older and a younger spirit within a city that's around a lot of energy and people know how to get to the cemetery and be there.
Okay. Have you ever been to a cemetery that there was so much energy that you were drained just after 10, 15 minutes?
Bethel. Yes, the bad place.
Okay. Because I recently went to one. We were four adults. We went there. We stayed about 20 minutes. Like we walked around. I was with Eric and his mother. Her grandparents and her parents are buried there. So it's like family.
Mm-hmm.
And so she was visiting her family. Eric was doing his drone business, and my daughter Ashley and I were filming our stuff. In a total of 20 minutes, like we didn't even walk through the whole cemetery. Our legs were hurting. We were tired. We wanted just to go for a nap. I
Mm-hmm.
felt as if I walked like 3 miles.
90. Yeah.
Yeah, and I thought I was gonna fall face first on the cement, like crossing the street to get to the car.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. The others were saying, "Yes, my legs hurt, and yes, I'm tired. I don't know what's. I was okay before, and no. What do you think that could be?"
Well, if there was, like I said, if there was a lot of spirits in that cemetery, either visiting or, reside there, they're wanting to, if like, and I know a lot of people go out there, they're wanting or needing that energy to do things, just like we need our food and, things in our lives, the energy within things to carry on, they need it still also. So they were probably drawing it from you guys.
Okay,
Yeah.
because Eric was having trouble connecting his drone. He has a battery on it that lasts 23 minutes,
Mm,
but it got drained after 9 minutes.
very good for
And
that.
yeah, and all, little gadgets going, losing power and everything. But
Mhm.
when we left the graveyard and we're at home, everything's working normal as if nothing ever happened.
Yeah, they say the best thing to take if you want to try to save your equipment is one of those energy pucks that give off the energy, not the
Yeah,
ones
I
that
had
change
one.
colors. Yeah.
I had an energy pump because Eric made one, an EMF pump.
Hmm.
And after what I'd say 5 minutes, it wasn't working anymore. Not at all. I said, okay, we'll shut it off. I guess the batteries are dead. But I got back home and it's working as if nothing happened.
Yeah. Did you get
So,
a lot of activity that night using that?
um, well, I don't know since all that, but I'm filming at one point like a headstone, and I just left the tripod there and the K2 on the headstone. While I was there, I didn't see anything. So I walked away. And when I walked away, that's when the K2 started spiking.
Mm-hmm.
And then I have that thing there, pareidolia.
Uh-huh.
Pareidolia. I have,
Pareidolia.
yeah. So at the headstone in the back, I saw the face of a man with a tie. So I pointed it out with an arrow. And then when I came back, I said, "Oh, there's nothing here. We'll go farther down." As I bent down to pick up the K2, that man with the tie disappeared at the
Uh-huh.
same time. I'm there. Oh, okay. Is it me, or I don't know if the people that saw the video, my subscribers, if
Hmm.
they saw that perfectly. And it's like my live stream where I was seeing like that shadow leaning against the wall there at
Mm-hmm.
the tunnel. Well, I see that like that in the graveyard too, or in the trees. And when I get close to it, it's gone. So,
Well, you might be seeing something there. I mean, I think pareidolia, and I think I put up a little cute one about seeing faces and stuff in images, and the way that all comes about is, our first image, as a child, is usually, faces of people, people all up in our face. So you make images like out of, paneling and stuff like that, that the holes look like eyes and stuff like that. I think I loaded one where my dashboard looked like a little dog and I done the whole sniffing thing.
okay.
Yeah, so pareidolia, I think, really, I mean, if you went back and that image was not like engraved in the headstone or anything like
No.
that, if it wasn't there because of lighting, you tested it several times, then I can't say that was pareidolia. There was probably
Oh,
something
okay.
there.
Because I always thought that's what I had. So there you
No.
go. I probably see things. And I show Eric. Sometimes I'm editing and it's, oh, there's a face there. After I say it, then he sees it. If I
Mhm.
don't say it, I say, "Do you see something in this?" He says, "Well, no." Then I point it out. Oh, yes. Now he sees it.
Mhm.
And a lot of people I point out in their videos and stuff, and they didn't even see it themselves. I pointed out, oh yeah, yeah, I see it.
Yeah.
So
And
I don't know. It happens quite often. So that's
yeah,
why I was calling it pareidolia or something.
you never know. I mean, just debunk. I mean, if it's not a graven image, sometimes, especially with the woods, if you're filming the woods, yeah, that's hard because another leaf overlapping another leaf can look like an eye. You got, depth, which could look like a shirt. You, that's really hard to do. But I mean, if it's like a marker or something like that, the image is not there 24/7, an engraved image, then you might have something.
Okay. Does the full moon fuel the energy for war spirits?
Um, yeah, I think the full moon does give them energy. I mean, it has the power to change the tides. It has the power to change in our moods and energies. I used to work as a paramedic, EMT, worked in the ER. Everything crazy happens on a full moon.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, the power of the moon, I mean, it really does and truly has an effect on all things.
Okay. Uh, well, that's trippy. Okay, I'm just looking for questions again. We're
Okay.
almost at our hour mark. There's still like 15 minutes left. Let's go up and down and see. Um, oh, Taro and T, hello.
Geraldine. Justine
Okay.
got cookies.
Yeah. Um, what's your favorite equipment when you go out and investigate?
Other than myself, uh, my digital recorder.
Yeah,
My
that's why I was. Is there?
Yeah, yeah, just my recorder, my camcorder. Because that way, I could film what I hear, what I see. It's what we're out there to do, catch evidence. I like the necro. I mean, it really doesn't help me per se. It helps validate, what I say, first, or hearing, or whatever, for everybody else to get a feel of what we're dealing with or where we're at. If they could hear something, I do like the ghost boxes and stuff like that if they work. um, Other than that, just a camcorder. That's what
Okay.
we started out with: 2 phones and a digital camera, like a little Nikon. That's it.
Well, I always film with my phone.
Hmm.
I don't have a camera or anything. I just do it with that.
That works.
Jason has a question. What is your take on the East
Eats
method
method.
of the Estes method?
Eats method. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, and you're going to catch me on that. I think I have an idea what you're talking about, but I will look it up.
Oh, that's when they take headphones.
Okay, yeah, the
And,
blind EVP.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
okay. Yeah, I had to look it up there for a minute. I get so much going through my head sometimes at once. Um, I like it for validation. I think it's kind of fun too, especially if you have, like, if you're in a place with spirit activity. um, Make sure you're separated. The other person has no way of contaminating what you're saying, what you're hearing. um, but yeah, if you could actually validate what's coming to you, what you're saying, and their questions, then you are getting true validation. You're speaking to a spirit. Yeah, I think it's awesome, especially if you got 2 camcorders going, have someone way off from the other person, or even in another part of a house. Like we done it. I was in a closet and I had Jack's upstairs, but we were running like we are now. I had my video recorder with me. He had the other cam upstairs. I couldn't hear him because mine had no volume. So
No, we haven't, Ruger Ridge. He's asking about, have we covered the dowsing rods? What do you think about that?
um, well, have I used them? I have not used the current ones. The nice being able to manipulate them, as you would say. It's hard to say on the validation of those. Now, my granny called them witch sticks, and they were not separate, like those are.
Mhm.
It was a willow stick, and they were connected with one stick at the end, and you held them like this. So the stick would move up or down. I have to show you them sometime. And a lot of times they use them to find water. Um,
Mhm.
you know, I've seen them used that way, but I've never seen spirit energy. Like I said, it takes a lot for them to move something. So I'm not quite sold on that one, to be honest.
Okay, because I use them, and
Mm-hmm.
I connect. I need an instrument to connect with
Mm-hmm.
to get my answers, like for my pendulum and my rods. So when I ask questions, like the rods are going by themselves, like saying yes, or especially when there's like saying yes, crossing,
Mm-hmm.
and but at one point they won't let go. It's like it's stronger than me, like the crossing of those 2 rods together. Sometimes I feel like as if I'm going to fall backwards, and I
I
say, okay, let go, okay, let go. After a few times, then it'll stop, but I really feel it like, you know they're keeping it crossed, and
mhm.
they're stronger than me, and like I almost fell backwards. That
Yeah.
happens a few times.
Well, see, that's interesting. And does it feel like, I mean, are they and I ask questions too because I don't know you guys. Um, are they using the energy within you through the rods? I mean, does that drain you? Do you feel
No,
drained using
I
those?
feel I feel the energy in front of me that is crossing them.
Hmm.
Not coming from me because I don't have energy to spare for nothing. So, but I feel it that it's in front of me. There's like a wave or something,
Hmm.
and it's coming like the tip of my rods.
Mm-hmm.
It's coming from there, and when they're crossed, and sometimes okay, let go, like I say there, and I almost fall backwards and stuff. When I say that in my videos, let go, it's because it's stronger than me, and I feel the strength because I say the tip of the rods because I feel it from down my hand all the way. Sometimes it goes up to the shoulders
Wow, that must
of
have
the
really something
strength.
to say.
So it should be this way. If it was my energy, it
Mm-hmm.
would go that way, but it goes this way.
Hmm. That's
Yeah.
interesting. I had to try that.
You have to be really honest with yourself. Power of here. This is what I'm reading. You have to be really honest with yourself. Power of suggestion will give you false readings. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. Sandra, I had a question in the chat. Okay, let's go find it. Is it this, your question? I did a necrophonic to talk with my dad, and halfway through the video, I felt a closeness around me. I believe it was my dad giving me a hug. Could have that been my dad giving me a hug?
Um, well, um, it could have been any spirit, but here's the difference. You, you know, if my son walked up behind me right now as a mother, I know his presence. Okay, your dad, you should know his presence. You should. Most people do. Someone walks in your house, who it is sometimes without looking. I've seen people do that. So if you felt that coldness and you felt that comfort and you knew, in your mind, oh, well, that's my dad. That's you automatically knew that. So I think in yourself you already knew the answer to that it was your dad giving you that little bit of a hug there.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Um, so yeah, but sometimes it can be like a false spirit, like you're calling on to one of your family members, and it can be a
Mhm.
jokester or something like that, pretending to be.
Yeah, but like I said, it's just a presence. If you're around somebody 24/7, you sometimes
Yeah.
they're in the house or not, or if they walk by you, sometimes you don't have to look. You just talk. There's a fly in here. Sorry, you're talking to them as they walk by because you know who they are as they're walking by. You know which one it is. Whether it's my daughter or Jack's, or
You feel it.
you just
Okay.
know that person's. Yeah, it's hard to
And
explain.
there's smell
It's
too. I mean, you can,
instinct. Yeah.
like the perfume they used to wear or something. You
Hmm.
can smell that too.
Hmm.
Or like flowers in the cemetery when there's no flowers.
Now, my tech will tell you this is we've had flower incidences with her before, and she sees angels. Um, and she has corrected us a few times, and I was like, "Oh, it's a cemetery. We always smell flowers because it's a cemetery. Of course, you're gonna
Mhm.
smell flowers." And she's like, "No." She said it's a certain kind of scent. She said we have visitors, is what she calls them. And I know when she says visitors, that there's usually an archangel or an angel around.
Mm.
So they have a
It's it's really special because you're in the middle of a cemetery or graveyard and no headstones at all.
mhm.
or even real flowers, nowhere in sight. And you have this odor, and it's as if it followed me. And
Mhm.
like I'm gone, it makes 5 minutes. I'm in the car heading home, and I still have that smell of an old plastic flower, or I don't know. It, that
It's
smell.
lurking.
And one time I pointed it out. I told Eric, "Can you smell it now? I smell it really strong." He said, "Oh yeah, I do." I If I point it out to him, then
Mhm.
he gets it. But if I don't, I don't know.
Uh, yeah, get a few of those in the cemetery. First, it could be somebody trying to come home with you. You never know.
Have you ever heard a voice without using EVPs or necrophonic?
Oh yeah, because I mean, I talk to spirits
Whoops.
just like I'm talking to Sandra here. Uh, they walk up to me and talk, and it's gotten a little weird here recently because I've had a few incidences that I actually think it's a person. It was like, the story I tell about every once in a while, if I see a mother or somebody or, a woman walking down the highway, I will pull over. They tell you not to pick up hitchhikers, but, if I see a woman and, she's out there on her own, I'll pull over. Do you need a ride? You could trust me. I'm a woman myself. And I seen this lady and this child, walking down the interstate. I mean, a busy interstate. And, he was probably just a wee bit of, I mean, 4 or 5, I mean, probably less than that. He was little and just enough to have her hand, and to walk. And I pull over on the side of the road and my son goes, "What are you doing?" I said, "I'm going to give these guys a ride. See if they need, there's, not too far up here. I'm pretty sure there's a shell." And he goes, "What people?" And, I had to take a second look and there was nobody there. So I have to now second guess, I was out here mowing the yard one day and I seen a guy in an orange jumpsuit. I got scared and came to the house because I actually thought it was one of the correctional guys had gotten loose.
Hmm.
Nobody was out there. So it gets kind of weird, guys.
Okay.
Yeah.
Here I've a lot of spirits in my apartment. What should I do about it?
Well, I mean, if you guys are getting along, just live together. I mean, a lot of times, like I tell many people, if you buy a home that you have not built yourself, it's always somebody else's before it's yours. So the spirits that are there before yours, you're actually becoming their roommates. So you pretty much have that agreement already when you're going into another person's home that, there could be a spirit here. Hey, you mind if I live here with you? So, you have to get along. I mean, if you can't get along, I'm sorry. A lot of people get mad at me when I do say this. If you can't get along with the spirits in your home, the best thing you do is move.
Because we can't like tell them to go to the light or
No, because they could be happy where they're at.
okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, okay, guys, we are at our 1 hour mark. So I would like to say thank you, Vale, for
Thank
accepting
you.
the invitation. It was
Thank
really fun. And guys, Mark B's having a premiere. It's starting right now. So on that note, I'm going to say thank you all for being here. And I love you all and have a wonderful weekend. Goodbye. Kisses.
you.